In the last 10 years, between 2010 and 2020, the number of millionaires in America went up by 5 times. But also in that same time, between 2010 and 2020, 10 million people lost their jobs. So while the rich got richer, so did the poor get poorer. So when you look at the cash flow quadrant here, who pays the most taxes? What does school teach you about taxes? Because taxes, for most people, is their single largest expense. So which would you rather be? Going to school, getting a job, working hard, and paying a lot of taxes? Or you want to come over to the rich dad's side and pay 0 in taxes, legally? So I have a question for you. What does school teach you about money? So when I'm 9 years old, I'm sitting in the 4th grade, and I asked my teacher, I said, hey, when are we going to learn about money? And my teacher smiled and she said, we don't teach the subject of money in school. Like I could almost hear her saying what my pastor would say, the love of money is the root of all evil. And I said, well, it may be evil to you, but it's not evil to me. I want to learn how to make money. So I'd go home to see my poor dad. He's the head of education. And I said, when do we learn about money at school? And my dad says to me, we don't teach money at school. And I said, why not? He says, well, the government won't let me. I'm going, why doesn't the government teach us about money? So the question kept haunting me, why don't we teach the subject of money at school? And that's where it started. So the story of Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a story of 2 cultures. One academic, one capitalist. And they didn't like each other. Here's my poor dad, who was an academic elite, and my rich dad who says, you have to learn how to sell. What separated my rich dad and my poor dad were 2 pieces of paper. My poor dad thought his college diploma, his PhD, was everything. And my rich dad thought his financial statement was everything. But really what makes you rich is your financial statement. I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad in 1997 and was published. It had to be self-published because every publisher said, you don't know what you're talking about.
And today the book is, I think, 100 languages or 50 languages, whatever it is, and it's still selling.
When I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I put in there savers or losers. And people got so angry because for many people, saving money is a religion. But why would you save money when the government and the Fed are printing money? The other lesson in Rich Dad, Poor Dad is the rich don't work for money. What the rich know how to do is know how to use debt to buy assets so they get richer.
Define rich.
Forbes defines it as $1 million a year in passive income, whether you work or not.
Explain for us, Robert, how there is no middle class anymore.
Well, there's many reasons for that, but the middle class is not getting ahead. The rich are increasing, but the tax laws are written against the middle class. So we just got together and said we can't change the tax laws right now, but we can change people.
When I was 9 years old, my rich dad taught me how to become rich by playing the game of Monopoly. And I didn't understand why I was playing this game of Monopoly. And one day, Rich Dad said to me, he says, there's many ways you can become rich. One of the best ones are found in this game, Monopoly, because games are some of the best teachers in the world, because all games engage 4 intelligences. Number 1 is your mind. Number 2 are your emotions, fear and anger and sadness. Number 3 is physical. I mean, how can you learn to walk if you don't fall down? And number 4 is spiritual intelligence. As Maria Montessori said, what the hand does, the mind remembers. The difference between the cash flow game and Monopoly is this here. It's called a financial statement. And a financial statement, as my rich dad always said to me, he says, my banker has never asked me for my report card yet. He said, when you graduate from college or high school, the banker wants to see one thing. They want to see your financial statement.
Most people don't even know what a financial statement is, let alone how to read one. If you don't know where you stand financially, you don't know where your cash is coming from or going, it makes it very difficult to succeed in the real world.
When you look at a financial statement, here we have it, an income statement, income expense, and then you have the balance sheet, asset and liabilities. The poor and middle class work for a paycheck. They work for money. They want high income. What the rich work for are assets. So Rich Dad is one of the only companies that teaches you how a financial statement works, so you can see whether you're getting richer or poor, even if you don't have a college diploma.